The space around the ship was dark and cold. Captain Day Park looked at the screen in front of him. Red lights were flashing. Something was wrong out there. "Captain, we are getting a signal," said Hana Kim. She was young and new to space travel. Her job was to study alien life forms. "It looks like a distress call." Day nodded. "Where is it coming from?" Hana pressed some buttons on her computer. "About 2 hours away. The signal is very weak now." "Set course for the signal," Day said, to the pilot. "We need to help whoever is out there." The ship Determination changed direction. It was a good ship with a good crew. They had been exploring space for 3 months now. This was their first emergency call. 2 hours later, they found the source of the signal. It was not what they expected. "Oh no," Hana said softly. She was looking at the main screen. "Captain, look at this." In front of them was a destroyed spaceship. It was broken into many pieces. Metal and other materials were floating in space. The ship had been beautiful once, but now it was just wreckage. "Any life signs?" asked Day. Hana checked her instruments. "I'm not sure. The readings are strange. There might be something alive in the largest piece." "We need to check it out," Day said. "Hana, you come with me. We will take the small shuttle." They put on their spacesuits and went to the shuttle bay. The shuttle was small but strong. It could protect them in space and let them explore the wreckage safely. As they flew toward the broken ship, Hana felt nervous. She had never seen a destroyed alien ship before. The metal looked different from human ships. It was smoother and had strange patterns on it. "The ship is not from any species we know," she said to Day. "I thought so too," he replied. "Be careful when we go inside." They found a hole in the largest piece of wreckage. Day flew the shuttle inside carefully. Their lights showed corridors and rooms that were much bigger than human spaces. Everything was broken and twisted. "Life signs are stronger now," Hana said, looking at her scanner. "Something is alive in there." They put on their helmets and left the shuttle. The artificial gravity was still working in some parts of the ship. They walked slowly through the corridors, following Hana's scanner. The readings led them to a small room. The door was half closed and twisted. Day pushed it open with some effort. Inside, they found something amazing. In the corner of the room was a small creature. It was no bigger than a house cat, but it looked like a tiny dragon. Its scales were crystal clear and seemed to glow with their own light. The creature was breathing, but very slowly. It looked hurt and weak. "Is it alive?" Day asked. Hana knelt down beside the creature. "Yes, but barely. Look at its scales. I have never seen anything like this before." The tiny dragon opened its eyes. They were bright blue like stars. It looked at Hana and made a soft chirping sound. Then it closed its eyes again. "We need to help it," Hana said. "It is just a baby." Day looked worried. "Hana, we do not know what this creature is. It could be dangerous." "Look at it," Hana said. "It is so small and hurt. How can it be dangerous?" The captain thought for a moment. The regulations said they should report any new alien life to headquarters first, but the creature looked like it might die soon. "Okay," he said. "But we do it carefully. Bring it to the medical bay, but keep it isolated." Hana gently picked up the tiny dragon. It was warm and weighed almost nothing. She could feel its small heart beating fast. The creature made another soft chirping sound but did not try to fight or escape. Back on the Determination, Dr. Tae Cho was waiting in the medical bay. He was the ship's doctor and had treated many different species before. "What do we have here?" he asked as Hana brought in the creature. "We found it in the wreckage," Hana explained. "I think it is just a baby." Dr. Cho examined the tiny dragon carefully. "Interesting. Its body temperature is higher than most species, and these scales are like nothing I have seen. They seem to store energy somehow. Can you help it?" Hana asked. "I think so. It needs fluids and nutrients, but I am not sure what it normally eats." For the next several hours, they worked to help the creature. Dr. Cho gave it medicine to make it stronger. Hana stayed with it, talking softly and keeping it calm. The tiny dragon seemed to understand that they were trying to help. It did not fight them even when Dr. Cho had to give it injections. Sometimes it would look at Hana and make chirping sounds. "I think it likes you," Dr. Cho said. "I think so too," Hana replied. "Those sounds it makes, they sound almost like it is trying to talk." That evening, Captain Day came to check on them. The tiny dragon was much stronger now. It was sitting up and looking around with bright, curious eyes. "How is our patient?" Day asked. "Much better," Dr. Cho said. "Whatever this creature is, it heals very fast. Much faster than any species we know." The dragon looked at Captain Day and made a series of different chirping sounds. Then it turned to Hana and made the same sounds. "Did it just—" Day started to say. "I think it did," Hana said with amazement. "I think it just introduced you to me." "That is impossible," Dr. Cho said. "It is just a baby animal." But as they watched, the dragon pointed at Captain Day with one tiny claw, then at Hana, then at Dr. Cho. Each time, it made different sounds. "This is not just an animal," Day said quietly. "This is an intelligent being." Hana felt her heart race. They had found something incredible. This tiny creature might be one of the most important discoveries in human history. "What do we do now?" she asked. Day thought for a long moment. "For now, we take care of it. We learn about it, and we decide later what is best for everyone." The tiny dragon seemed to understand. It curled up in the warm blanket Hana had given it and closed its eyes. But before it fell asleep, it made one more soft sound that almost sounded like, "Thank you." That night, Hana could not sleep. She kept thinking about the tiny dragon and wondering what would happen next. She did not know that this was just the beginning of the most amazing adventure of her life. 3 weeks had passed since they found the tiny dragon. Hana had spent most of her time with the creature. She had started calling it Q because of the soft sounds it made. Q was growing bigger and stronger every day. "Good morning, Q," Hana said as she entered the medical bay. The dragon was now about the size of a small dog. Its crystal scales were brighter than before, and its blue eyes were full of intelligence. Q chirped happily when he saw Hana. He had learned to make different sounds for different people. He made one sound for Hana, another for Dr. Cho, and another for Captain Day. "He is getting bigger fast," Dr. Cho said. He was checking Q's health every morning. "His body is amazing. He heals from any small injury in just a few hours." "Have you figured out what he eats?" Hana asked. "That is the strange part," Dr. Cho replied. "He seems to eat minerals, iron, copper, even small amounts of gold. He also needs lots of water, but not just any water. He likes water with dissolved minerals in it." Hana watched as Q played with a small piece of metal. The dragon held it in his claws and seemed to be studying it. Then something incredible happened. The metal began to change shape. Q was somehow making it bend without using any tools. "Dr. Cho, look at this," Hana said. The doctor turned and gasped. "How is he doing that?" Q looked up at them and chirped. He seemed proud of what he had done. The piece of metal was now curved like a small bowl. Captain Day walked in at that moment. "How is our— What did he just do to that metal?" "We do not know," Hana said. "He just touched it, and it changed shape." Day picked up the metal bowl. It was still warm. "This is not possible with our technology. The metal should be too hard to bend like this." Over the next few days, they watched Q do more amazing things. He could change the shape of metals just by touching them. He could also sense things that their instruments could not detect. "Captain," Hana said one morning, "Q has been acting strange. He keeps looking at the ceiling and making worried sounds." "What do you think is wrong?" Day asked. "I am not sure, but I think he senses something we cannot." 2 hours later, their instruments detected a solar storm approaching. It was exactly where Q had been looking. "He knew it was coming before our sensors did," Day said with amazement. "This creature has abilities we do not understand." Engineer Bo Shin joined their daily meetings about Q. Bo was responsible for maintaining the ship's systems. He was fascinated by Q's ability to work with metal. "I have an idea," Bo said. "If Q can change metals, maybe he can help us fix some problems on the ship." "Is that safe?" Hana asked. She was protective of Q and did not want anyone to use him. "I mean working with him, not using him," Bo explained. "He seems to like playing with metal. Maybe we can make it fun for him." They tried Bo's idea. They brought Q to a part of the ship where some pipes were damaged. The pipes carried water to different parts of the ship. They had been trying to fix them for weeks. Q looked at the broken pipes with great interest. He touched them gently with his claws. Slowly, the metal began to bend and reshape. The cracks closed up. The pipes were fixed better than new. "This is incredible," Bo said. "He fixed them perfectly. Our repairs never work this well." Q seemed happy to help. He chirped and looked around for more things to fix. But there was a problem. Q was getting bigger and the medical bay was getting too small for him. He also seemed sad sometimes. He would look out the windows at the stars and make lonely sounds. "I think he misses his home," Hana said. "Or his family. We need to think about his future," Captain Day said. "The regulations say we should report him to headquarters. They will want to study him." "No," Hana said firmly. "They will lock him up in a laboratory. He is not just a specimen to study. He is intelligent. He has feelings." "I know," Day said. "But what choice do we have?" That night, Hana could not sleep again. She went to check on Q. She found him in the medical bay, but he was not sleeping. He was working on something. Q had taken several pieces of metal from around the room. He was shaping them into something complex. It looked like a small model of a building or maybe a cave. "What are you making, Q?" Hana asked softly. Q looked at her and chirped. He pointed to his creation, then to himself, then to the walls around them. "You want to make something bigger?" Hana guessed. Q chirped excitedly and nodded. He was learning to understand human gestures. The next morning, Hana told the others what she had seen. "He wants to build something," she explained. "I think he wants to make a home for himself." "On our ship?" Captain Day asked. "I think so. He likes it here with us." Engineer Bo looked thoughtful. "We have empty cargo bays. If he can work with metal the way we have seen, maybe he could build something there." "But the regulations," Dr. Cho started to say. Captain Day held up his hand. "Sometimes regulations are not as important as doing what is right. This creature saved us from that solar storm by warning us early. He has helped fix our ship. He is not just some animal. He is part of our crew now." Hana felt tears in her eyes. "Really? You mean we can keep him?" "We are not keeping him," Day said. "He is choosing to stay with us. There is a difference." That afternoon, they showed Q the empty cargo bay. It was a huge space with metal walls and floors. Q's eyes grew wide with excitement. He ran around the space, touching the walls and making happy sounds. "This could be his home," Hana said. Q looked at all of them and made a series of chirping sounds. Then he did something new. He spoke his first human word. "Home," he said clearly. "Home." Everyone was quiet for a moment. Then Hana knelt down and hugged the young dragon gently. "Yes, Q," she said. "This is your home now, and we are your family." Q chirped happily and began examining the metal walls of his new home. Hana could see that he was already planning something big. She did not know it yet, but Q was about to create something that would change everything they knew about space, travel. But for now, she was just happy that they had found each other. Sometimes the best things in life happen when you are brave enough to help someone who needs you, even if they are very different from you. 2 months later, Q had grown to the size of a large dog. His home in the cargo bay was becoming something wonderful and strange. Every day, Hana would visit him and watch him work on his project. Q was building what looked like a cave inside the metal walls of the cargo bay. But it was not like any cave Hana had ever seen. The walls seemed to grow and shape themselves under Q's touch. They were smooth and curved, like the inside of a shell. "How is he doing this?" Engineer Bo asked. "He visited every day too," fascinated by Q's construction. I do not know, Hana said. He touches the metal and it becomes something else. Look at this wall. It used to be flat, but now it curves and has chambers inside it. The cave had many rooms connected by curved tunnels. Some rooms were small and cozy. Others were large with high ceilings. The strangest thing was that the rooms seemed bigger inside than they should be from looking at the outside. This does not make sense, Bo said, measuring one of the rooms. This room is 10 meters long inside, but from outside the wall is only 8 meters long. Q chirped and pointed to different parts of his creation. He was trying to explain something, but they could not understand. I wish we could talk to him better, Hana said. He knows so much more than he can tell us. Captain Day was worried about other things. We are supposed to report to Space Command next week, he told Hana privately. They will want to know about Q. What will you tell them? Hana asked. I do not know yet, but I am afraid they will want to take him away for study. That fear became real sooner than they expected. 3 days later, their communications officer received a message. Captain, the officer said nervously. We have an incoming ship. It is a military vessel. Commander Leah Moon is requesting permission to board. Day's face went pale. Commander, Moon was known for following regulations exactly. She would not understand their situation with Q. Why is she coming here? Hana asked. Someone must have reported our discovery, Day said. Prepare for inspection. An hour later, Commander Moon came aboard with 2 soldiers. She was a stern woman in a perfect uniform. Her eyes were cold and unfriendly. Captain Park, she said formally. I am here to investigate reports of an undocumented alien life form on this vessel. Commander, Dee replied, may I ask who made this report? That is classified. Now I want to see this creature immediately. Hana felt her heart sink. Someone on their own ship had betrayed them. But who? They led Commander Moon to the cargo bay where Q was working. When they opened the door, Moon stopped and stared. What is that? She asked, pointing at Q's cave construction. It is his home, Hana said. He built it himself. Q looked up from his work. He had been shaping a new chamber. When he saw the strangers, he moved closer to Hana and made worried sounds. Incredible, Moon said, but not in a good way. This creature has been modifying a military vessel without authorization. That is destruction of government property. He is not destroying anything, Hana said angrily. He is improving it. Moon ignored her and walked closer to Q. The young dragon backed away, sensing danger. This creature must be transferred to Research Station Alpha immediately, Moon announced. It will be studied properly there. No, Hana said. You cannot take him. He is not just a specimen. He is intelligent. He has feelings. It is an alien, Moon said coldly. It belongs in a research facility, not on a working ship. Captain Day stepped forward. Commander, with respect, this creature has helped us. He warned us about a solar storm that could have killed us all. He has repaired damage to our ship. That makes it even more valuable for study, Moon replied. Soldiers, prepare it for transport. The 2 soldiers moved toward Q. The young dragon looked terrified. He made loud, distressed sounds and ran to Hana, hiding behind her. Stay away from him, Hana said, protecting Q with her body. You are interfering with military orders, Moon warned. But then something unexpected happened. The walls of Q's cave began to glow. The metal surfaces shimmered with light and a low humming sound filled the air. What is happening? Moon demanded. I do not know, Day said. He had never seen the cave do this before. Q was no longer hiding behind Hana. He stood in the center of his creation and called out in a voice that was deeper and more complex than his usual chirps. The sound echoed strangely in the cave chambers. The glowing grew brighter. Then on one of the curved walls, symbols began to appear. They were beautiful and complex, like writing, but unlike any language humans knew. He is trying to communicate, Hana said with wonder. The cave is some kind of communication device. More symbols appeared on different walls. They pulsed with light in patterns that seemed almost musical. "Fascinating," Moon said. Her cold expression had changed to one of intense interest. "This technology could be invaluable to the military." "It is not technology," Hana said. "It is his way of speaking. This is his language." Pilot Jin Ryu, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward. Jin was young and had always been kind to Q. "Commander," Jin said, "what if we are making a mistake? What if this creature is not just an animal but a person from another species?" "That is impossible," Moon said. "Our intelligence reports show no advanced species in this sector." "Maybe our intelligence is wrong," Jin replied bravely. The symbols on the walls pulsed faster. Q made more complex sounds. Then suddenly, one section of the cave wall became transparent like a window. Through the transparent section, they could see space. But it was not the space outside their ship. It was a different place with strange stars and a nebula that glowed with purple light. "That is not possible," Moon said, staring at the impossible window. "Unless," Engineer Bo said slowly, "his cave is not just a cave. What if it is some kind of advanced technology that we do not understand?" Q looked at all of them and spoke clearly. "Home. Want home." Then more words came, slowly but clearly. "Family, far away, help me, please." Everyone was silent. They finally understood. Q was not just building a home. He was building a way to contact his own people. "He has been trying to call his family," Hana said softly. "All this time he has been building a device to reach them." Commander Moon stared at the symbols and the impossible window. For the first time, she looked uncertain. "This changes things," she said slowly. "If this creature is truly intelligent and if it has advanced technology, his name is Q," Hana said firmly. "And he is not an it. He is a person." Q looked at Commander Moon and said carefully, "Please, no hurt. Want family, want friends." He gestured to Hana and the crew. "Good friends. Help Q." Moon was quiet for a long moment. Then she made a decision that surprised everyone. "I need to contact headquarters immediately," she said. "This situation is beyond my authority." As she left to make her call, Hana knelt beside Q and hugged him gently. "Do not worry," she said. "We will not let anyone hurt you. You are part of our family now." But they all knew that everything was about to change. Q's cave had revealed that he was far more than they had ever imagined. The question now was, what would happen when the rest of humanity learned the truth? Commander Moon spent 3 hours talking to her superiors. During that time, Q continued working on his cave. The symbols on the walls grew brighter, and the strange window showed clearer images of distant space. "I can see structures in that nebula," Engineer Bo said, studying the window carefully. "They look like ships, but not like any ships I have ever seen." Hana stayed close to Q, who seemed nervous. He kept looking toward the door where Moon had gone. "It will be okay," she told him softly. "Whatever happens, we will protect you." Q chirped and touched her hand gently with his claw. "Hana, good friend," he said. His human words were getting better every day. Captain Day was pacing back and forth. "I do not like this waiting. Moon could order a full military takeover of our ship." "She seemed different when she saw what Q could do," Dr. Cho said hopefully. "Maybe she will understand." Pilot Jin was monitoring their communications. "Captain, I am picking up signals from Q's device. They are very weak, but they are definitely artificial. Someone is trying to respond." Everyone turned to look at the cave. The symbols were pulsing in a rhythm now, like a heartbeat. Q became very excited. He ran to the main wall and placed both claws on it. The symbols glowed much brighter. "He is answering them," Hana said with amazement. "He is talking to someone." The transparent window flickered and changed. Now they could see a face looking back at them. It was definitely the same species as Q, but much larger and older. The creature had the same crystal scales and bright blue eyes. The adult dragon spoke in the same musical language Q used. Q responded excitedly, his young voice high and happy. They found each other, Dr. Cho said quietly. He found his people. But their reunion was interrupted. Commander Moon returned with her soldiers and her expression was grim. I have new orders, she announced. A full military fleet is on its way. This ship and everything on it will be transferred to military control. What about Q? Hana demanded. The creature will be studied extensively. This technology could change everything about space travel and communication. The face in the window turned toward Moon. The adult dragon spoke, and this time the words were in human language, though accented strangely. You would harm our child? The voice asked. Moon stepped back in shock. You can speak our language? We learn quickly, the dragon replied. We have been watching your species for some time. You rescued our young one when others would have left him to die. For this, we are grateful. More faces appeared in the window. There were at least 6 adult dragons looking at them. How many of you are there? Moon asked. Few, the first dragon said sadly. We are all that remain of our people. Our world was destroyed long ago. We have been hiding, afraid to trust others. But you trust us? Captain Dai asked. Some of you, the dragon replied, looking at Hana. The young female who saved our child has shown us that humans can be kind to those who are different. Q spoke to the adults in their own language. They listened carefully, then the first dragon turned back to the humans. Our child tells us of your kindness, of how you cared for him when he was hurt, of how you gave him materials to build a communication chamber. This is more than we dared hope for. Commander Moon looked confused. Communication chamber? You mean this cave? It is an old design, the dragon explained. Our children learn to build them by instinct. It allows us to speak across great distances, through space. Your child has built it well. He is not our child, Moon said. He is an alien specimen that was found. He is our child by choice, Hana interrupted. And we are his family by choice. That is what matters. The adult dragon looked pleased. The young female understands. Family is not about blood or species. It is about caring for each other. This is all very touching, Moon said impatiently. But I have my orders. The creature and this technology must be secured. The dragons in the window looked at each other. Then the first one spoke again. Commander, Moon is it? You speak of securing our child and our technology, but you do not ask what we want. What you want is irrelevant, Moon replied coldly. You are not human. You have no rights under our law. That may change, the dragon said calmly. We offer your species something that has never been offered before, an alliance. Partnership between our peoples. Impossible. We do not make treaties with aliens. You do not make treaties with species you think are inferior, the dragon corrected. But we are not inferior. We are different. Our technology, combined with your determination and adaptability, could benefit both our species. Engineer Bo stepped forward. What kind of technology? We can travel through space in ways you cannot imagine. We can build materials stronger than anything you know. We can sense dangers across vast distances, and in return, you could give us something we have lost. What? Captain Day asked. Hope, the dragon said simply. You showed kindness to a child who was not your own species. You risked your careers to protect him. You are what we need to believe in again. Commander Moon shook her head. Even if I wanted to consider this, I do not have the authority. The military fleet will arrive in 6 hours. They will not negotiate. The dragon was quiet for a moment. Then, what if we were not here when they arrived? What do you mean? Moon asked. We could take our child with us. He could live among his own kind. You could report that the creature escaped using unknown technology. No, Hana said immediately. Q, you do not have to leave. This is your home too. Q looked torn. He chirped sadly and moved between Hana and the window where his people waited. Want family, he said slowly, but want friends too. Hana is good. Captain Day is good. All crew is good to Q. The adult dragon spoke to him gently in their own language. Q listened, then responded at length. What are they saying? Hana asked. Our child has made a proposal, the dragon said. He does not want to choose between his birth family and his chosen family. He wants both. How is that possible? Dr. Cho asked. He proposes to become the first of our kind to live among humans, to be a bridge between our species. He would travel between us, carrying messages and building understanding. Commander Moon laughed bitterly. The military will never allow that. The military may not have a choice, the dragon replied. We are offering them a choice. Partnership or conflict. We are small in number, but our technology is advanced. It would be better for both our peoples to be allies. Pilot Jin, who had been listening quietly, suddenly spoke up. Commander, what if the choice is not yours to make? What do you mean? Moon demanded. What if Q chooses for himself? He is intelligent. He can make his own decisions. If he wants to be an ambassador between our species, who has the right to stop him? Q looked around at all of them. Then he spoke clearly and confidently. Q choose. Q stay with Hana and crew, but also talk to dragon family. Help humans and dragons. Be friends, this is what Q wants. The adult dragon in the window smiled, the first smile they had seen from his kind. Our child is wise. He sees what we should have seen long ago. Different species can be family, different species can work together. Commander Moon stared at them all. Her cold expression was changing to something else. Uncertainty, perhaps. Or maybe understanding. The fleet will be here soon, she said quietly. I will have to make a report. What will you tell them? Captain Day asked. Moon looked at Q, who was standing bravely beside Hana. She looked at the impossible technology in the cave. She looked at the faces of the adult dragons in the window. I will tell them the truth, she said finally. That we have encountered a species that wants to be our allies, and that sometimes the best diplomacy starts with the kindness of one person to a lost child. As if summoned by her words, the ship's alarms began to sound. The military fleet had arrived. The military fleet was huge. 12 ships surrounded the Determination, their weapons powered but not yet aimed. Admiral Chen Wei's voice came over the communication system, stern and commanding. This is Admiral Wei. Commander Moon, report immediately. To my flagship for debriefing. The alien specimen will be transferred within the hour. Commander Moon looked at Q, who was pressed close to Hana's side. The young dragon's scales were dim with fear. Admiral, Moon said into her communicator, the situation has changed. I need to brief you fully before any transfers take place. Negative, Commander. Orders are orders. Prepare for immediate boarding. In the window of Q's cave, the adult dragons were watching everything. Their faces showed concern and growing anger. Your military leaders are not listening, the first dragon said. This is not good for future relations. Captain Day stepped forward. Give us time. Not all humans are like this. Time is what we may not have, the dragon replied. Our child is in danger. Q suddenly stood up straight and walked to the center of his cave. He placed both claws on the main control surface and spoke loudly in the dragon language. The response was immediate. The symbols on all the walls flared with brilliant light. The entire cave began to hum with power. What is he doing? Engineer Bo asked. The adult dragon in the window smiled grimly. He is calling for help. Outside the ship, space began to shimmer. Slowly, like ghosts becoming solid, more ships appeared. They were sleek and beautiful, made of the same crystal-like material as Q's scales. There were only 5 of them, but they moved with incredible grace and speed. Unknown vessels, identify yourselves immediately, Admiral Wei's voice commanded over open channels. The first dragon spoke, and his words went out to all the ships. I am Elder Ren of the Draconan people. We come in peace, but we will protect our child. Draconan? Admiral Wei's voice was shocked. The Draconan species was declared extinct centuries ago. We have been hiding, Elder Wren replied. But today, we reveal ourselves because of the kindness shown to one of our young. On the flagship, Admiral Wei was clearly trying to understand the situation. What do you want? We want our child to be safe. We want to offer your species an alliance. And we want the humans who showed kindness to our young to be honored, not punished. Commander Moon activated her communicator again. Admiral, I strongly recommend that we negotiate. These beings have technology far beyond our own, and they are offering friendship. Aliens cannot be trusted, the Admiral replied. We have protocols for this situation. Your protocols, Elder Wren said, assume that all alien species are enemies, but we are not. We have been watching your species for decades. Most of you are warlike and suspicious, but some, like the crew of this ship, are capable of great kindness. Q stepped forward and spoke directly to the Admiral, his young voice carrying clearly over the communications. Admiral Wei, Hana saved Q. Captain Day gave Q home. Dr. Cho made Q healthy. Jin and Bo are friends. Why hurt people who help? There was silence on the flagship for a long moment. The alien, it speaks our language, the Admiral finally said. His name is Q, Hana said firmly. And yes, he speaks our language. He also speaks his own language, and he has technology that could help both our species explore space together. Pilot Jin moved to stand beside Hana. Admiral, I have been monitoring the Draconan ships. They are not threatening us. They are protecting their child, just like human parents would do. Dr. Cho joined them. Sir, this young being has abilities we have never seen. He can predict solar storms, reshape metal with his touch, and build communication devices that work across impossible distances. But more than that, he has shown us friendship and loyalty. Engineer Bo stepped forward too. Admiral, their technology could advance our space program by hundreds of years, but they are offering it freely in friendship. How often do we get an opportunity like this? Captain Day was the last to speak. Admiral, in 30 years of space service, I have learned that sometimes the most important decisions are not about following rules. They are about doing what is right. Taking Q away from people who love him and who he loves is not right. The entire crew of the Determination was now standing with Hana and Q. Even Commander Moon had moved to their side. Admiral, Moon said, I am formally recommending that we accept the Draconan offer of alliance. These beings could be the allies humanity has been looking for among the stars. Elder Wren spoke again. Admiral Wei, we understand your caution. Our own people were destroyed by those we trusted too quickly. But we have watched this crew for months. They risked their careers to save our child. They gave him a home when he was alone. They treated him as family, not as a specimen to study. And now, another dragon voice added from the window, our child wants to help both our peoples understand each other. He wants to be a bridge between worlds. Q nodded enthusiastically. Q help humans and dragons be friends. Dragons teach humans new things. Humans teach dragons new things. Everyone better together. The Admiral was quiet for a very long time. Finally, his voice came over the communications, different now, less commanding and more thoughtful. Elder Wren, if I were to consider this alliance, what would you offer? Technology to travel faster through space, materials stronger than any, the ability to predict dangers before they threaten your ships, and most importantly, friendship between our species. And what would you want in return? Safety for our few remaining people, a chance to rebuild our civilization, and the promise that beings like your crew of the Determination will be honored for their kindness to those who are different. I need guarantees, the Admiral said. How do we know you can be trusted? Elder Wren looked at Q. Our child will be our guarantee. He will live among you, learning your ways and teaching ours. If either species breaks faith, he will be the first to know. He will be our conscience and our connection. Q chirped happily and hugged Hana. Q, stay with friends, but also help Dragon Family. This is good for everyone. Admiral Wei made his decision. Very well. I am authorizing preliminary negotiations, but the creature, Q, must remain under military supervision. No, Hana said immediately. Q stays with us. He is part of our crew, our family. If you want him as an ambassador, then respect his choice to stay where he belongs. The young female is right, Elder Wren said. Forced service is not service. Our child chooses to help and he chooses to stay with those who showed him kindness. Honor that choice and you honor the beginning of friendship between our peoples. The Admiral sighed. Against my better judgment, agreed. The crew of the Determination will be the first human Draconan diplomatic team. Commander Moon, you will oversee the formal negotiations. 6 months later, Hana stood in the expanded cargo bay that was now officially called the Diplomatic Center. Q's cave had grown into something magnificent, a space that was somehow both comfortable for humans and perfect for dragons. Q was now the size of a horse, his scales brilliant with health and happiness. He spent half his time teaching human engineers about Draconan technology, and the other half learning about human culture and values. Ready for the next group of visitors? Hana asked him. Always ready, Q replied. His human speech was now perfect. Today we show the mining engineers how to make metals that fix themselves. Tomorrow we teach the navigators how to sense gravitational currents. Through the great window that Q had built, they could see both human and Draconan ships working together on a new type of space station. It would be the first joint construction project between the two species. Do you ever regret staying with us instead of going to live with your own people? Hana asked. Q looked at her with his bright blue eyes. Hana, I learned something important from humans. Family is not about what species you are born to. Family is about who chooses to love you and who you choose to love back. But your dragon family is also my family, Q said happily. I have 2 families now. Dragon family teaches me about my heritage and my abilities. Human family teaches me about courage and kindness. I need both. Captain Day walked into the center, carrying a message pad. Q, we have a request from the Exploration Division. They want you to help them investigate some strange signals from the Andromeda sector. Apparently there might be other species out there that need help. Q's scales brightened with excitement. Other species? Maybe other children who are lost and need rescue? Maybe, Day said with a smile. Are you interested in another adventure? Q looked at Hana, then at Captain Day, then through the window at the stars beyond. Always interested in adventures, especially if we help someone who needs help. Hana laughed and patted his scaled shoulder. That is exactly what I would expect from someone who was rescued by humans and raised by a crew of space explorers. And someone who is part dragon, Q added proudly. Dragons and humans together can do anything. As they prepared for their next mission, Hana reflected on how much had changed. A simple rescue of an injured creature had become the foundation for an alliance between species. One act of kindness had opened up possibilities that no one had ever imagined. But that, she thought, was what humans did best. They saw someone who needed help, and they helped. They saw someone who was different, and they tried to understand.